And New York thought that Godzilla was tough.
Harbor and Lady Liberty, unmistakable proof that you're in the Big Apple. And another New York City landmark, Madison Square Garden, the world's most famous sports palace, where tonight the New York City Hawks will get it on indoor style against the Orlando Predators. Hi again, everyone. I'm Mike Adamle along with Mike Golick. Glad you could join us for tonight's arena matchup between a much more improved New York City Hawk team and a perennial title favorite in the Orlando Predators. And that shaking... We got to talk about Orlando's monster, their Godzilla, Barry Wagner.
Quite simply put, he is the best player arena football has to offer. At 6'3", 215 pounds, he's big enough to outmuscle his opponents. He's fast enough to outdistance his opponents, but the 7-year veteran also has the intangibles that make him the best. The scary thing about him, he is never satisfied with his own performance.
Well, the New York City Hawks 2-2 this season. Already they've matched last year's win total, so they have been a much improved team in 1998. And it's not just the play of their quarterback, Mike Perez, that has made the difference, Mike.
No, this league known for its offense, well, New York can thank its 2-game winning streak on its defense. Remember these names, Dwayne Zachary, Eddie Brown, and Ron Carpenter. In fact, Dwayne Zachary is the leader in the league in tackles. What they're doing, they're just flat out hitting their opponents, out muscling their opponents, and causing turnovers. And those turnovers, as you can see, have led to some big points.
The coach of the New York City Hawks in just his first season, 62-year-old Chuck Shelton. That's actually his offensive coordinator there, John Payne, putting on the headsets. His counterpart on the other sideline, 30-year-old Jay Gruden, the youngest head coach in Arena Football League history, and of course, one of the game's greatest players during his tenure as the Predator Tampa Bay Storm quarterback. Jay Gruden. We're set to get it on. Madison Square Garden. Orlando has won the toss, and they will receive and back deep to receive Mike Black's kick. The man we were talking about, Orlando's Godzilla, the great Barry Wagner. Black does not hit this one well, and a very severe penalty for errant kickoffs.
Yeah, this one will cost them. Touchbacks go to the 5-yard line, but when the kickoffs go out of bounds, and that wall in the end zone is considered out of bounds, it's going to come out to the 20.
And those are the kind of mistakes you want to stay away from against a team like Orlando as you look at Pat O'Hara having an outstanding season, second in the league right now in pass efficiency rating. Second-year pro out of Southern California. Wagner, the offensive specialist tonight, in motion. And immediately, O'Hara calls his number, but a great piece of defensive work by number 26, Ron Carpenter. Mike Golick, you talked about him in the opening. As you look at offensively, Orlando, the man in the middle, their center, one of the top centers in the league, Webby Burnett, starting in his 60 consecutive game. And Ty Law will hopefully take some of the pressure off of Barry Wagner. He's back in the lineup after missing the last 3 weeks with a dislocated left thumb. O'Hara, the 3-step drop. And the catch made by number 26, Brett Cooper. For New York, defensively, their big guy up front is Brett Quarta, a 300-pounder. He is tough, and a third-year pro from UC Davis. And Ron Carpenter, the man who just made that great play on Barry Wagner, his fourth-quarter pick a week ago helped seal the deal against Albany, sending them to their first defeat of the season. 3rd and 5 for Orlando in New York territory. The pitch, little flip to Barry Wagner. He's shy of the first down.
Nice play by Dwayne Zachary. Again, the leading tackler in the league right there. You see number 22 does a good job coming up one-on-one on Barry Wagner. definitely giving up a lot of size and stops them and makes it 4th down. Interesting tonight, Mike, Barry Wagner is playing offensive specialist because of the injury to Robert Gordon, who's the normal offensive specialist. So Wagner in an unusual role, but we'll talk about it tonight. He has been used a bit differently this year than in the past.
Orlando wasting no time. They're going for it on 4th and 1. They've been very successful in that department this season. 7 for 9 on 4th down situations, but a flag on the play.
False start. 93 offense. 3 yards. Still 4th down.
It's a false start on Kelvin Ingram. That'll cost them 3 yards. Look on the right side of your screen. Right there, you see the jump. That's all it takes. It turns a 4th and 1, or a half a yard actually, to 4th about 3.5.
And they'll still go for it. How successful have they been this season? Well, they were 7 and 9 all last year. 14 games. This year they've achieved that mark in just 4 games. 4th and 4. O'Hara's got Wagner. If he breaks a tackle, he's got the touchdown. Barry Wagner. And it's not just the size that makes him so special, Mike Golic. His will to do well in each and every game.
And we talked about it at the top at 6'3", 215 pounds. First, he's up against Dwayne Zachary, 6 foot, $189. He can't bring him down. Then Ron Carpenter tries to bring his 192-pound body over. No effect on Barry Wagner again. A lot that has to do with Barry Wagner finding the end zone as much as he has.
Newly acquired David Kuhl on to attempt the extra point. It is up, it is good, and on their first possession of the game, the Orlando Predators and Barry Wagner make good. Madison Square Garden, New York, where the Orlando Predators have taken the early 7-0 lead over the City Hawks. The Orlando scoring drive. Jay Gruden said he doesn't want to use Barry Wagner as much as they have in previous seasons. Doesn't want him to become the security blanket. Well, guess what? Barry Wagner caught both of Pat O'Hara's receptions there and the 23-yarder for the touchdown.
Yeah, bottom line is if you'd like to spread the ball around, but if there's at all a struggle anywhere, you look for big number 82.
And another kickoff penalty. You hit the scoreboard, they bring that one out to the 20-yard line in arena football.
Just like kicking it out of bounds, the kickers have to know that when they come in, know that when they're warming up, that this scoreboard hangs a little lower than some of the other scoreboards around the league. They either have to line the ball up differently to one of the sides or kick more of a line drive. That wasn't done by a new kicker, David Kuhl, who is in his first game. So he's going to learn that lesson real quick.
One of the great quarterbacks in this game, Mike Perez, just 188 yards shy of becoming only the 3rd player in arena history to pass the 15,000-yard mark. So the City Hawks start off with good field position. Perez back to throw. He's going the distance for Kevin Pratt. Did he hang on? And the official on the spot to say no. Coverage provided by Damon Mason, number 28, out of Southwest Louisiana. That'll be a matchup to watch all night long. Up front for the Chuck Shelton City Hawks, there's Chuck, the 62-year-old first-year head coach. Otis Moore, number 99. Last year, he was New York's Iron Man of the Year, a fine two-way player. And Kevin Pratt, the man on that reception, just acquired this week in a trade for Milwaukee last year. Spent the season with Nashville. He is the fastest player in the Arena League. 4.31 in the 40. Perez going for Pratt again, that time incomplete. It'll be 3rd and 10. Defensively for Orlando, Kelvin Ingram. He replaces Victor Hall. He did in week 2 after Victor suffered a ruptured Achilles tendon. Kelvin has played well. And in the secondary, an all-arena performer in 1997, Chris Barber. He has recorded an interception in each of his last 3 games. He's a good one. Third and 10, City Hawks. Perez. Intended receiver, and again, great coverage provided by number 28, Damon Mason.
Well, New York has had trouble in the first quarter. As you see, 3 attempts, no completions, only scored 22 points in the first quarter. Well outmanned and outscored in this quarter. And you saw 3 times Kevin Pratt they went to, as you said, newly acquired, played for Nashville last year, only about half the season before he had a stint with the Philadelphia Eagles, came back. And as you mentioned, the fastest man in the league, and they will try and go to him quite a bit.
And Mike Black on to attempt a 46-yard field goal. He is 12 of 17 this year in that department. That one is wide left, and again in arena football, those nets keep the ball alive. The field goals are returned, and Barry Wagner returns it out to 14-yard line, and that's where Orlando will begin their next possession when we return to Madison Square Garden. Back here in Madison Square Garden, the Orlando Predators 7-0 lead over the New York City Hawks, 8:59 remaining here in the first quarter of play, and the Orlando Predators have the ball once again. This is their second possession as Pat O'Hara, 3 of 4 on that first drive, leads them out of the huddle. Flag down on the play. Wagner catches the ball, advances it into New York territory.
False start on Orlando. That one's going to come back. Cost him 3 yards. Again, penalties a little different than the outdoor game because of the shorter field.
We have a procedure on the offense. No tight end declaring. 3-yard penalty. Repeat, first down.
What happened was no tight end declared here.
R.G. DeTillier, tonight's referee. We've got Pat O'Hara, Mike. Let's listen in.
Off, on 2, ready? Zoom to right, trip tight.
Ty Law, the motion man this time with the pitch to Rick Hamilton. Around the right side, a sizable gain for Orlando. Eddie Brown and James Bowden on the tackle.
Nice mix-up, the run and pass. You wouldn't expect a run there. On first down and 13, they go with the sweep. Linemen get out there, do a nice job of going high and low, giving them the corner. Makes it now more palatable, 2nd down and 4.
Wagner, the motion man. They give him the ball as they are wont to do in their offense. Wayne Zachary, number 22, perhaps the City Hawks' finest defender, trips Barry up before he can make any sizable kind of gain.
Dwayne Zachary in 1995 played with the New York Jets. You'll see him come up to the right of your screen, do a good job. He's really just coming up to try and take out the interference. Nobody there. So he just goes ahead and increases his league-leading tackle.
So now O'Hara and company faced with a 3rd and 5, ball resting on the 18-yard line of Orlando. Again, Wagner, the motion man. And again, flags of the play.
The offsides against New York, number 60, Eddie Blake.
Prior to the contact, encroachment, number 60 defense. 3 yards, still 3rd down.
Eddie Blake on the nose, number 60. You'll see him move. Made a little bit of contact. That's why they stop it. Eddie came from the CFL of Winnipeg. Been trying to get him here for a while. Big, strong guy who played with the Miami Dolphins in the early 90s. Would like to get back to the NFL, he says. And he wants to use arena football in this league to try and to get him back to the NFL.
3rd down and 2. O'Hara going to the airwaves, and number 26, Brad Cooper, cannot hang on, but they will go for it on 4th down.
Good pressure on O'Hara. Wilkie Bazil just came over in a trade from Tampa Bay, got some good pressure on O'Hara, and already in the 2nd time in this well, no, they are going to go. They are going to go for the field goal. Now, not going to tempt fate once too often.
David Grilla, the original Orlando kicker, replaced this week by David Kuhl, a rookie on to attempt a 44-yarder. Again, the uprights in arena football just 9 feet wide, so you have to be a master of accuracy in this league, and David cool under pressure. The 44-yarder is good, and Orlando has a 10-0 lead over New York. You're watching the Arena Football League on ESPN2. 30-year-old Jay Gruden, the new head coach of the Orlando Predators. Last year, he was the offensive coordinator for Nashville, and he didn't come cheaply, Mike. He was in the middle of a 3-year contract. Nashville didn't want to let them go, but after a series of tough negotiations, Orlando finally had to give up an offensive lineman named Jerry Sharp and an undisclosed amount of cash to get Gruden as their head man. And they're glad they did.
When the last time two brothers both got head coaching jobs in professional football. His brother John, of course, named the head coach of the Oakland Raiders. Jay, the head coach here in Orlando. As you see, he is the leading yardage passer of all time, though Todd Hamill fell about 6 yards short in their game over the weekend. Will probably pass it next week. And Mike Perez inching up closer to be, as you said earlier, only the third quarterback to throw for over 15,000 yards.
Coming in, he needed 188. New York begins this possession on their own 5-yard line, and they need a score.
385, hit!
His receivers having a very difficult time hanging on to the ball.
They have got to get a score here. They cannot fall 3 scores down to this Orlando team.
That one dropped by Ray Stoops. Let's listen in.
Left, all zeros on sound, right? What? Liz.
All right, you hear the plays, Liz? That means they're going to slide left, all zeros. All the receivers are going to do hitch routes, just a couple of steps and turn around, which would be interesting. They have man coverage, so they changed them. Smart play by the receivers. It was all zeros, which mean hitch routes, but as soon as the defenders came up on tight man coverage, they automatically know, don't run that route, just run streaks down the middle of the field. Again, all zeros, you see the defenders right on them, automatically that changes the routes to all go routes.
Perez going for Damon Bowers, number 12. Chris Barber on the coverage. That is a tough man to beat, Chris Barber.
Well, New York has had 5 offensive plays and 5 incompletions. They face another 3rd and 10.
Right, set, 385! 385! Hit!
Heavy pressure on Perez, but he gets it off to the man they call the Jet, Kevin Pratt. Acquired just this week from Milwaukee to give New York a bona fide deep threat. A gain of 40 yards.
Perez does a nice job of getting rid of the ball. He's going to get some pressure coming from his right. You'll see it. Good job of getting rid of the ball, and Pratt does what he does best. Just runs by people, and that's exactly why he's here. For Brian Reeves, the trade went down last week. Reeves just was not able to get into the end zone enough. Pratt a bona fide deep threat, and they're hoping he can find the end zone more.
He came close that time. Ball now on the Orlando 6-yard line. 1st and goal, City Hawks. 3:16 remaining here in the first quarter. The inside handoff to Bowers, and he gets hammered hard.
Well, that play looked ugly from the start. Connell Spain, 285-pounder, had a whole lot to do with that, as New York gets an illegal procedure penalty also against him.
Illegal formation, offense, wide out, covered by the tight end. That penalty's refused. 2nd down.
Well, they get the choice there, the wide out and the tight end on the same side on the line. It's an illegal procedure penalty, but the defense gets their choice to decline it. They choose to, since there was no gain on the play.
So New York knocking on Orlando's door at the 5-yard line. 2nd and goal. Pratt the motion man. Perez is looking for him. He was blanket covered by Damon Mason in the end zone.
Lassane and Jerry Odom both with the knockdown. See, Perez has time. Bruce Lassane, number 21, good job of timing the pass and blocking it.
Mason has been a big factor in this young game already. His numbers on the season. Good looking secondary with Mason and Chris Barber. Of course, Barry Wagner playing one of the linebacker spots. Pratt, the motion man. A lot of traffic in that corner. Perez goes the other way. This one overthrown, intended for Ray Stoops.
Well, they're in the red zone. Inside the 10-yard line in arena football is the red zone, and just great coverage by Orlando. Now, do they go ahead and try and get 3 points out of this or go for the 6? But they are going to kick and just try and get on the board and stay one score down.
21-yarder attempted by Mike Black. Missed from 46 earlier in the game. Career long, 53. And he missed that one. Again, the ball live. Flags down.
Again, that's live, and the kicking team has got to give the receiving team room to catch the ball.
Much like the fair catch in the outdoor game.
Bruce Lesane, number 21 from Orlando, was the one that caught the ball. Now he has to have some room.
Keep an eye on number 33, Mike McClinton for New York. He can't be inside that 5-yard line, and kind of a ticky-tacky call there.
That's on kickoffs also. The kicking team cannot pass the 5-yard line until the receiving team has had a chance to get the ball. Now, I'm sure the question here was the ball, where was the ball placed before the play, on the 5 or inside the 5? If it's inside the 5-yard line, then obviously the kicking team can go a little farther in because the ball's already inside the 5. Referees seem to try to be working this one out also.
We have interference with the 5-yard belt on the kickers, number 32. That penalty will be accepted. Marked off from the 5-yard line, 3 yards, first down.
Well, that's what it is now.
On the 8.
Can't pass that 5-yard line. The kicking team cannot until the receiving team has caught the ball or had a chance to catch the ball.
Right ball, 32, back on
2 scoring opportunities. Well, the one was a long field goal for Mike Black, the 46-yarder, but that a chip shot that he comes up empty on.
So Orlando, their third possession of the game does not quite get underway as Pat O'Hara calls timeout. Well, you ready for the excitement of ice hockey and the daring maneuvers of inline skating? Well, Pro Beach Hockey is ready for you. 5-on-5 on a banked rink. Pretty unbelievable. We'll catch it on the Deuce this Thursday at 11 Eastern. That's Pro Beach Hockey.
Love start mixing those sports in, huh?
Orlando until last week undefeated when Nashville upended them. And a reason why. 4 reasons why.
They were, as of last week, there were 4 undefeated teams. It went down to 2 when Orlando and Albany lost, and as we'll let you know about later, it's down to 0 now. There are no more undefeated teams in arena football after this past weekend play.
So the Predators begin this possession at their own 8-yard line. And the pass complete to number 21, Bruce Lesane.
Something that Jay Gruden wants, the head coach of Orlando. He wants to see different people catching the ball. That's how he amassed a lot of his yards as a quarterback, by not having just that one go-to guy. Was spread the wealth around. And though that has dropped Barry Wagner's number some, if it keeps the team in the elite of the league, they've all got to be happy about that.
Wagner at the bottom of your screen. Up top, Lassane and Connell Maynor. Touchdown. And that's going to be very special for that young man because Maynor used to be a New York City Hawk. He's also the backup quarterback to Pat O'Hara, but he can do so many things well. He plays wide receiver, he plays defensive back, and that time he caught a huge touchdown pass from Pat O'Hara, good for 28 yards.
Yeah, here's a guy that says, listen, I just don't want to be the backup quarterback and sit on the bench. I can offer you a lot more than that. And there you see just a